You're listening to Women's Dream Enlightenment, dream decoding, deep discussions, and spiritual stories of self-discovery to inspire your personal enlightened journey. I'm your host, Megan Mary, founder of Women's Dream Analysis. Let's bring in the light. Welcome. Well, today we have Danielle Joworski. Learning how to embrace her feminine side and intuition has been a game changer for Danielle. From starting her career in a microbiology lab and having a fear of the camera to being an award-winning businesswoman and TV host. She transformed her life and career at 40 and now helps other female founders 40 plus to explore ways to show up and be seen in their businesses in ways that feel aligned. Thank you, Danielle. I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Megan. I'm so grateful to have this conversation with you.
Yes, I think what you are doing for 40 plus females is amazing. I'm inspired by your visibility, and it's just knowing that you're there and that you're advocating visibility has just helped me in this sort of ethereal mental way. So,
oh, thank you for that.
Yes, you never know who you're touching when you come out with inspiration, right?
Absolutely, so true.
So one of my first questions that I ask everyone is, what does enlightenment mean to you?
So enlightenment for me, so a little bit of my background is I have a degree in adult education, and we use like Maslow's hierarchical needs, which basically talks about how if we can somehow manage to fulfill our basic premises or our basic needs, then we can start on that path towards enlightenment. So if our food or shelter are taken care of, and then we get up to safety, security, and then as we start looking at connecting, teamwork, families, and things like that. So enlightenment for me is that you're really kind of transcending everything that is in the physical, and you're really starting to connect with who you are from in almost like a spiritual perspective. Understanding that everything that we do, we are all one, we are all part of a collective, and really exploring how do we best fit into that to help others as well as helping ourselves.
Yes, I love the vision of it being a collective and what you said about it not being physical, not being tangible. Yes. That's really key. The two things are really key because it's that introspection, it's that connecting with that inner knowing that really can bring us to that place of greater knowledge, which then connects us with everyone else.
Yes, absolutely. And it's something we feel from inside, but it's so external to us as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And also what's so interesting is when you do that really deep introspection, you end up discovering things that actually resonate profoundly with other people, even though it comes from way inside. It's so easy then to connect with others once that's verbalized, made visible.
Yeah, exactly. Made visible. And that could be hard, sharing those things with others, because it's not talked about a lot, which is why I really love what you're doing with this platform and creating that space for us to talk about enlightenment, intuition, the things that we feel and think on the inside, but yet we're living in this very physical world. So it can seem like an oxymoron. But I felt it for me, when you start to connect within, when you start to go on that path towards enlightenment, whatever that means for others, it opens up so many different other doors and experiences. And I feel like you experience life at a much deeper level, and you're much more present in life than if you were just living it. If that makes sense for anyone else.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And what you said about it not being, there not being an area to talk about that. That's one of the whole reasons that I created this, not only because I wanted to experience what everyone else had discovered their gift was, but I wanted to hear how they got there. And I wanted to share my story too, so that I didn't feel so alone in my journey, that obviously it was so unique, but it's everyone else. A lot of people seem to be going on their own journeys and feeling called, feeling inspired, feeling that connection, and not really knowing what to do about it, how to go about walking down that path. And it's not really culturally supported. Dreams are definitely not something that are commonly shared in our society. And so there's just so much that we struggle to be able to bring to the light of day. And that's part of the work of dream work, really, is getting over that stigma and understanding that there's a treasure trove of information waiting there for us.
Absolutely. If we're open to it,
Mm-hmm.
and then open to receiving it, and then exploring what that actual meaning is.
Yes. Yes. So tell the listeners a little bit about your enlightenment journey, and if there was a pivotal moment in your life that brought you to do what you are doing today, from microbiology to TV show host. That's a big journey.
Big journey, just a little bit different kind of industries and fields. And I got into TV with no background, no experience whatsoever. This kind of a journey of enlightenment that I've been on. It's funny because for me, it was that 40th birthday where, again, I know where I am, there's the big talk about, 40, it's over the hill. It's that big, midlife crisis. And I found it literally my 40th birthday was that midlife awakening day, where I knew it was coming. I was trying to avoid it and ignore it so much, to the point where I wanted to be on a trip somewhere elsewhere where I could just ignore the day. As the universe would have it, I had to be at home on my birthday. And so I had to celebrate it with my kids. And it just became that night, it was, I just cannot live this life anymore. And the only way I could really describe it was, I knew I was living my life because I'm physically here living that life, but I felt like I wasn't living my life. It was someone else. I felt like it was someone else's life. It's always like there was this, I was in these two different dimensions and I was in the wrong place, but having this physical experience in the wrong dimension. It was the oddest feeling. I didn't know what it was at the time. I had nobody that I could talk to about it. So I kept it hidden. And then on my 40th birthday, it just became, I cannot walk down this path anymore. I knew inside that I was done walking this path. And so I made the choice and the decision to start exploring and answer those questions. Who am I? What am I here for? There's got to be something more to life than what I was doing at that point in time. And that's what I made that commitment to, just let's just start taking it one step at a time, stepping back and start answering those questions, and just being really open to seeing where that journey took me.
Mm-hmm. And were there particular modalities that you dabbled with at the time that helped you to align yourself with your new path?
Good question. I really know. Like when I think about where I am today in my spirituality, in really just understanding what this enlightenment is and choosing to be on that journey. And like, I love talking 3D, 5D, multidimensional, I love talking about stuff. But when I think about where I was at 40, again, like kind of energy work and energy talk and talk about the universe. It was kind of woo-woo kind of talk. It wasn't mentioned. I'm from a corporate background. Yeah. So manifesting and abundance were not words that I heard in a corporate environment, and neither of my friends weren't using them. So when I started going on this journey, I really just started connecting with different people and opening up to listening to other people. And I feel that it found me, and these modalities found me because I was open. I got really curious when people started talking about energy work, like, I don't know what that is. What is that? And just kind of judging, but not judging at the same time, because everything was just so new. And at the same time, I was trying to figure out who I was and how was this connecting and why am I learning about this all at once. So for me, it's just being open to learning and listening to conversations from people and being willing to ask questions and be curious and not judge.
Definitely. So many things have crossed my path on my journey. And I've just said, okay, I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that, but I want to know what that is because it's crossing my path. So there's a reason that I'm supposed to find out what that is. And so I always follow those little turns in the road when they come, because I feel like, okay, there's a million things in this world that you could run into in one day, even just on the internet. And when something crosses your path, there's a reason.
Exactly. And that's part of learning it too, is just understanding that things are coming in and out of your life. They're flowing in and out, and they're experiences. And sometimes a path for you to take, or sometimes it becomes how bad do you want something? How badly do you want that path of enlightenment or this new exploration? It's almost like the universe testing you. So it just became, what path do I want to be on? Exploring lots of different paths. And I found for me, what happened was when things kind of crossed my path, that all of a sudden I just had this, really this curiosity for. Sometimes it was insatiable. Like I would just start reading books, a lot of books on a certain topic, or I would be starting to research things on the internet, or when people talked, and I started running in, and I'm going to say running in different circles, but really my network shifted to being more people who were in that holistic wellness, spiritual world. And I just sat there, even though I know, and I was told this many times at the beginning, I didn't look like I did. I kind of was a part of the group. I was definitely that thing that stuck out, but I stuck with it because I was so curious as to why this is being put in front of me, why I'm so interested in it. And then when the time came, started learning about it a little bit more and then applying it into my own life.
And I've had other conversations with women that also came from the corporate environment and just are lauding that we're discussing it, saying we really need to bring all of this wisdom to the fore and stop hiding it and stop shoving it under the rug and stop doing it in our closets and not really sharing it, because there's so much to be won from actualizing all of the information that we could access when we really start, like you said, opening yourself up to it. And we had talked about synchronicities before, and I feel like paying attention to synchronicities is really a great way to start tuning in to that guidance, because they're so small sometimes that we go, oh, isn't that funny that just, and I was just, and you just think, oh, it's a coincidence. But then the more you start to pay attention, the more they happen, and the more you see, oh, just all kinds of things. And you see you're being led, and it's a comforting feeling.
Yes. Or even the fact that you can trust or a sign that you're on the right path. For me, numbers and animals are big symbols that I really connect with. I'll see license plates, especially. Constantly I'm seeing when I'm going down a new path, I'll see license plates 111, 222, sometimes lots of different license plate sequences like that in the same day. Okay, I'm on the right path. Or even this morning, I was sitting outside with my coffee, just kind of being present and meditating. And I opened my eyes, and it's cool in the morning, and this beautiful yellow butterfly just came flying by, and I realized, okay, so that's a sign, because it's too cool right now for them to be out. Not necessarily, I haven't really seen any other butterflies yet this season where I am, and I'm in the process of undergoing this massive transformation in my business. So when I saw the butterfly, I was like, yeah, there is a transformation happening right now. It's
Absolutely.
okay. Just trust the process. Because I was a little worried and scared, because change can be hard. But when you become more aware of these symbols, for me, I find when I became aware of the symbols and learning how to trust it, because okay, I'm on the right path. I'm taking the right journey. And when I don't see a lot of those symbols, it becomes that awareness of, oh, maybe I'm not traveling down the right path, or I need to ask. Maybe
Mhm.
it needs to be different. So I'll ask the universe, show me if this is the right
Yes.
step. Show me a pink butterfly, like something really odd and would really stand out.
Yes.
So it's super obvious, because I always ask for, if you can make it super obvious, because I don't want it to be subtle and then I miss it the first couple times and everything goes, kind of off the rails. Show me, I ask for big, super obvious signs so that I'm like, okay, as
Yes.
soon as I see it, that's it. I know, move on.
Yes, we had an enormous full rainbow the other day, and I just thought, oh yes, this is a good sign, because that doesn't happen that much. And even when it does happen, I'm sitting in my room with the blinds shut, like right now, and I completely miss it.
Yeah.
So, the fact that I saw that was like, oh yes.
Yeah. There you go. Good sign.
Yes. And it's funny that you said the show me part, because I've had so many metaphysical, mystical type dreams, and one of them was particularly about show me, and it was very much like, just, lay out that red carpet, because I'm ready to walk down it. And have you had a similar experience with your dreams?
For me, dreams, I dream, especially right now. I don't know what's going on, but definitely I've been dreaming a lot more. But when I wake up, like, I'm not remembering them as much as I should. And I know, or as much as I would. And I need to get better at leaving a pen and paper beside my desk and writing them out, or remembering to write it out when the paper and pen are right there. But for me,
Yes.
it just becomes trying to think if anything. I don't know. For me, it, like, I'm more of a, which is interesting because I tend to see things more. So I think I would see things more in dreams, but I pick up more from the feeling of the dream. Is it a feeling of anticipation? Is it a
Yes.
feeling of, oh, hold up, what's going on? So really kind of picking up on that. If I don't remember, it becomes, oh, what did I feel? Like, I feel like my dreams that I'm having lately, because they seem so vivid, they're almost very lucid. I just have this feeling of speeding up, and things are just getting really fast. So just be prepared. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from them. Again, I don't know what's going on, but then I got the butterfly showing up, which is kind of saying transformation. So just between the two, just okay, breath, breathe, ground. Okay, things are moving forward. I'm getting signs that it's going to be okay. It's going to be a transformation. So, which is good, but be prepared for some more change, and things are speeding up. So who knows?
Yes. Yes. Well, definitely pay attention to the mood. That is one of the quickest ways to get to the meaning of the dream, is to pay attention to the mood.
No,
For sure.
perfect.
So let's talk a little bit about what you are doing with other women today, and how you are helping them realize their value and align them with their visibility. What's your favorite thing about what you do?
That's a great question. The favorite thing about what I do is the fact that I really get to work with women and help them to close those visibility gaps from where they are to where they see themselves, and really fit in the how. I used to do a lot of coaching, and I'm shifting in my business now more to consulting, because I really want to get in the weeds with other female founders who can see themselves moving forward. They just struggle. And the problem is, well, I don't know how. As a coach, my job was just to kind of guide and get your clients to really realize and have that awareness around the how. Whereas my corporate background was, I was the how. I was fixing, and my job was to identify problems and then go ahead and fix them and bring in other people to collaborate to create solutions. So I'm now going back to that. I'm kind of taking now that corporate role and bring it into entrepreneurialism. And it's fascinating, because it just becomes these little things that female founders, they just want to elevate their voice, their presence, how they're showing up in whatever space they're showing in. But it becomes, well, they're not quite sure how. Often it's these little things like updating your LinkedIn profile, or it could be something bigger where I'm working with another client where she wants to do an in-person event. Well, how do you do that? How do you plan it all? How do you create the workbook for it? How do you prepare yourself to show up to speak in front of all these people? So I love the fact that I've got this very diverse background in different visibility tools, strategies, modalities, and I get to use them. So every day is different. Every solution that I'm helping to provide to a female founder is different because it's based on where they are in their business and visibility journeys. And I'm just so grateful that I get to help them take that, what they see as a visibility leap, like this big quantum leap in their business, and really turn it into much smaller steps and then help them to take it.
And I think that that's so important for particularly women who are purpose-driven, who are heart-centered, who are soulpreneurs, because they feel the calling, they know they have something they have to share, and they are not in the space of figuring out how to get from A to B, how to get to the people that need them, how to set themselves, get out of their own way to get their message out to the masses. I understand because I'm in that same situation, being an introvert and being just catapulted into this path that I'm on. I wasn't prepared to be the face of it or to speak publicly or to any of that. And so it's a challenge that it's part of the path, but it's a necessity in order for everybody to find you. But I think it's great that you're helping women, whatever it is that they are founding, whatever it is that they're starting, to get over that hurdle.
Yeah. And it's fear. And like you, I'm an introvert. And for me, it's this calling. You talked about a calling a couple of times already. So I feel like this is my calling, is to help really raise the presence and the voices of other women so that they can be seen, they can be heard, found and hired to do what they feel called to do right now. I feel that I feel really passionate about this because at 40, when that birthday showed up, I made the decision to step off that corporate ladder, begin this whole journey of exploration. It included becoming an entrepreneur for the first time, to which I failed. For 2.5 years, I struggled. I did not like the cameras. I had a fear of cameras, putting myself out there, like me, the face and voice of my business. What is that? I no longer had a Fortune 500 company's name and their reputation to kind of fall back on. It was just me. And I had no idea how to put myself out there, and grow a business at the same time, trying to figure out who I was at the same time. So I couldn't put myself out there. I couldn't be visible. I had to return to corporate, which was at the time very painful, but I realized now it was needed because I got back in this environment, saw other women struggling, and wanted to help. That very entrepreneurial thing, I wanted to help, but I didn't quite know how to do it. Then this idea for a TV show came into my head. I want to connect women's career challenges and business challenges to the solutions that women entrepreneurs provide. They need a platform to be seen, heard, and connected. I'm working full time and I don't want to worry about the tech. I'll just pitch a TV show. So I created a TV show. I pitched it to a local station and network. They accepted it. I ended up producing it and hosting it. Again, fear of camera. So, but I think that's where the calling comes in. I knew deep within that I could help so many other people by providing this platform. If I could just get over my fear of being seen, being visible, and being in front of the camera, it was so much better for the collective. Yes. And so it was all about not me anymore in front of the camera. It was, I'm just a conduit and the platform to allow these conversations to happen.
Yes.
And that's where that passion for what I do today, it came from. It came from failing, but the failing was needed in order for me to find the path where my passion is and where I feel very purposeful today.
And I wouldn't even look at it as a failure. It's just that you found where you were needed. That's the success. You realize that you actually were needed there in that environment. And so that's that's fantastic. And I couldn't agree with you more about overcoming the fear and being the conduit, and that's, I say it a lot, but that's getting out of your own way, where you stop worrying about the ego and stop worrying about how do I look and I'm going to say something wrong and it's not going to work out and all those things, and just do it for the benefit of everyone else that needs to hear the message. And once I started embracing that, all of my other worries kind of couldn't hang on as much. They just kind of started falling away a little bit. And it made it easier for me to say, okay, I'm just going to do this. And even if I regret it later, I have to share this. And I know that it's going to benefit someone. Yes. And that was enough of a reason to take that risk.
Absolutely. Because it's no longer, you're not seeing you as you. It's no longer about you. It's
right.
what will happen with everyone else, or what can happen with everyone else when you step into this. And it's amazing when you take the focus off of you and put everyone else and how everyone else is going to benefit. And again, that collective piece, how I'm not going to say the fear goes away, but that belief in what it is that you're supposed to do, that calling becomes greater than the fear.
Yes.
Allows for that courageous action to be taken.
Yes, it does. And when you make that courageous action, that's when the universe, when you start to be in alignment, that's when you start to get back all of those messages and little signs and little synchronicities that, yes, it's working. Keep doing that. Keep going. And it really, when you pay attention, then it spurs you on.
Yes. The paying attention, that's the important piece. But I think especially at the beginning, like for me, it was, I didn't know about all this stuff. It became finding people that I could trust to start opening up to and saying, hey, what about this? Can you share more about this with me? Or taking something that you would Google online and just starting to ask questions.
And I think part of listening also is listening to your dreams, because everyone has them. And unlike a lot of other things that you might have to learn from someone else, or you might have to read a lot of books about, you have them every night, and they're holding messages for you. And it's just a matter of figuring out how to decode them in your own dream language. But once you have that method and you can access them, they can help you so much in figuring out where you're needed, what you're supposed to be doing, what you need to do in your direction. So
it's so neat, because I think about a lot of time, in coaching or when you do personal growth work, the idea is that you visualize. So you're consciously visualizing what it is that you want and where you see yourself. Your dreams are, to me, it's almost, it's kind of coming to me now, where it's this untapped tool for so many of us, because you don't even have to consciously visualize. It's going to do it for you. So why not allow it to project and share with you what it already sees for you, instead of trying to make yourself believe consciously, yes, and get all that into your subconscious. Your dreams are coming from the subconscious. So just let it show you exactly what is possible.
That's right. And that's why I think of it as a treasure box, because I feel like it's this locked box of jewels that we all have, and we just don't know where the key is. We don't know how to open it. And once we can open it, then we have access to all of that just richness and knowledge and inspiration and creativity and everything. It's there for us. And so many people have tapped into it. I mean, so many famous artists and inventors, and we spoke about this before. It's really a storehouse that so many other people historically have found, but in mainstream it's not used that way, and business can use it. There are so many applications for business inventions, and if you're working on a new project, or you want to come up with a new product, or you want to come up with your next event, or you're wondering how you should advertise. I mean, I literally did an incubation on how should I advertise. and had a very interesting story that led me to, use the social network that I'm most familiar with. And it was like, oh, of course. So, it's waiting there for you. And I'm excited to just put myself aside and get out there and share that with everybody, because I feel like there's so much they could do with it.
Feel like it's a tool. It's right there. It's already part of us. It's like, why not learn how to tap into that and use it and make life, work, everything so much easier and possibly even a lot more fun too.
Yes. So if you had 3 takeaways to our listeners today, what would you impart? What wisdom would you pass along?
Oh, kind of 3 points. The first is where you start is never where you're going to stay. So wherever you start in your business, your life, your career, this exploration around what enlightenment is, that journey for you, where you start is not going to be where you stay. You're constantly going to be learning and evolving, whether we realize it or not. And so I think a lot of people get stuck in I'm here, I'm at the beginning, realizing we all had a beginning. We all had a beginning, and we all figure out how to take our next step. So where you start is not where you're going to stay. That would be point 1. The second is, the bigger the belief, the larger the leap. Something I say a lot with clients, and it becomes, we talk a lot and you hear a lot about these quantum leaps, and understanding that quantum leap, it's based on perspective, what that actually means. And a leap is just a step. And the bigger step that you take, the more belief that you have in either who you are, what you're here to do, what you can do, or even your belief in someone else's belief in you. Because sometimes we don't always believe, in ourselves as much as other people believe in our ability to do something. When you have stronger belief, the leap that you're going to take, those courageous actions that you're going to take, they're going to be bigger. So the bigger the belief, the larger the leap. And again, leap is all perspective, your own perspective of what that looks like. And the third, oh my goodness, is live in the moment and be really present in the moment and really witness what's going around and what's happening around you. Like we talked about, the signs, the symbols, the universe is talking to you. Again, could be your subconscious thought, like so many things are being shared with you. If you have to be in the moment though, present, listening, like full body listening, and really opening with your eyes and looking at everything differently and understanding, I'm seeing a butterfly, but it's not the right time for the butterfly, or things like that. Just when things seem out of the ordinary, you're not normal, but they're showing up in front of you. If you're present, if you're aware, you're going to be able to see and realize that you're being guided. And there's so many tools like the dream analysis that you do that are available to you to help you move through, like really be present, and then take what you're learning to take that next step forward.
Yes, that's wonderful. And I think that when you start being mindful and present in real life, and you start recognizing those things, you start to see the symbolism in them, as you did. You said, oh, a butterfly, it's a symbol of transformation. And when you start doing that, it actually
Thanks for listening.
Recognize the
Are you a woman wondering what your dreams mean?
Then are
you seeking enlightenment and wanting to connect with your true purpose and higher self?
At the same time,
check out womensdreamanalysis.com to begin exploring the transformative power of your dreams. If you like this episode, please subscribe. If you'd like to share your self-discovery story, spiritual gifts, or have your dream interpreted on the podcast, please go to dreamenlightenment.com.
Mindful observation.
Yeah.
Good term.
Thanks. Well, where can people find you if they want to become more visible? They want to learn how to get from A to B.
Absolutely. So the best way to find me is my website, daniellejoworski.com. On Instagram, you'll find me at Danielle A. Joworski, or LinkedIn, Danielle Joworski.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, Danielle, today. I really appreciate everything that you're doing for other women. And I also love hearing your perspective on all that we discussed today. I know it'll resonate with our listeners, and it's just great to have another deep discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for, again, having and creating the space for us to have this kind of conversation.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome.